Imagine this. What if people in a city just started dancing non-stop, literally until they dropped dead? No music, no reason. Just a wild, out-of-control rhythm. This is the story of one of the Middle Ages' darkest and most inexplicable events, the Strasbourg dancing plague of 1518. This bizarre tale starts in 1518 in the city of Strasbourg, which was part of the Holy Roman Empire back then. It's in modern-day France now. One day, a woman named Frau Trophea walked out of her house and began to dance in the narrow city streets for no apparent reason. She was dancing, but it wasn't the happy kind. Her face was contorted with pain and exhaustion, and her arms and legs were flailing wildly, totally out of her control. At first, people just watched in shock. There was no music and no sign that the woman could be stopped. The story might not sound that interesting so far, but this seemingly random event was about to quickly take hold of the entire city. The woman danced for hours, day and night. Within a week, dozens of others joined the dance. By the end of the month, the number of dancers had swelled into the hundreds. It was like a sickness, an epidemic, but unlike anything they had ever seen. People danced until they fainted from exhaustion, until their hearts gave out or their blood vessels burst. Government and church officials were in a panic. Everyone started to think this was some kind of supernatural punishment. Then the doctors came up with a strange diagnosis. They believed the illness was caused by hot blood disease, meaning the heat in the blood was increasing, creating too much energy in the body. Their recommended cure: the patients needed to dance to expel the excess heat from their bodies. Yep, they were telling people who had been dancing non-stop for days to keep dancing more. The officials put this proposed treatment into action, setting up public dance spaces, and even hiring musicians and strong men to organize the hundreds of dancers. The whole place looked like a street festival, but the hidden madness behind the spectacle soon turned into a tragedy. Dozens, even hundreds of people were dying from extreme exhaustion, hunger, and dehydration right there as they danced. The streets were filling up with the bodies of people who literally danced themselves to death. The situation was getting totally out of hand. The government shut down all the street festivals and public dance areas. Music and dancing were completely banned. The remaining hundreds of dancers were taken to a shrine up in the mountains. There they underwent religious ceremonies and prayers, were given red shoes to wear, and holy oils were spread on them, all in an effort to cleanse them of the affliction. Slowly, as if a curse had been lifted, the dancing began to subside. The epidemic lasted a little over 2 months, and by the time it was over, it had claimed hundreds of lives. The scientific reasons behind this event remain a complete mystery even today. Theories range from mass hysteria and religious fanaticism to ergotism poisoning, which is caused by a fungus that grows on rye grain. However, most modern historians seem to agree that the outbreak was a mass psychogenic illness, in other words, mass hysteria triggered by the immense stress factors of the time, such as widespread famine, poverty, and deep religious fears. In short, people became victims of a nightmare created by their own minds. Those streets of Strasbourg, where hundreds of people chose to dance non-stop until they died, offer a chilling display of the destructive power the human mind and social stress can have on the body. Sometimes, the deadliest disease isn't a plague or a microbe. It's fear and utter desperation itself.